Okay, my angels, how are you doing? I'm in a really good mood and I'm a little giggly. So this is for my pioneers, okay? And you will know it if you know it. Like, you know if you're a pioneer. If you don't, you're about to realize it, because you guys, like attracts like, and energetically, I'm not saying everybody. I don't really like when everybody's like, everybody who, lands on this channel is, well, like, I'm not sure about that. But I do know it will find those who it's meant to. But I just want to say, and if it's two things. First of all, what are these? Positive vibes. Vibras positivas. Okay? Okay? Just in case you're wondering where we're going today. And maybe you need to play. Maybe you need to get some new smells. Have you changed a scent in a while? Have you changed your scent in a while? Just saying. Another thing that's coming to my mind right now, I am kind of obsessed with honey butter at the moment, okay? So why do we forget about toast? Why do we forget about that? Has society given bread such a bad rap that we have all forgotten our beloved toast with butter, like a lot of butter and honey and, oh my God, cinnamon? If you hit the cinnamon on there, we're talking soul food. We're talking, okay, I'm doing tea. I do British tea, right? Just builder's tea, a little bit of milk, whatever. I've been putting honey in it this week. You're like, Autumn, really? That's so interesting. No, let me tell you, honey and milk, there's a message in it. There's a message in the honey butter, the honey, the milk. It's like wanting to be suckling at the breast of life. Lady Wisdom. I don't know. I can feel myself. I'm like, nurture me. Go ahead, nurture me. I want to drink. I want to eat. I want to nourish. Like, this is the message. This is the channel. You are at a moment where you have been through a shift. And okay, I'm going to get my notes. I actually wrote notes for this video because look at this. So much flooded through me as I was. The first thing I wrote was shift. And I just saw that it has been choppy waters for you. Like, really, I don't want to use the word roller coaster, but okay, roller coaster. It's just from one day to the next over the past few months, you've just really not known what to expect from yourself. And that's been like this divine sifting that's going on. You have a new skin, all right? And I'm gonna, at the end of this message, I remember the last thing I wrote, you have already birthed. So I'm just gonna hint at that for you. You have already birthed something, and you don't have to know what it is. You might know what it is, but this message is finding you to really midwife you through this place that we're in right now. I remember I got the number 2226. I remember that. I always, because I studied Hebrew is the root of my spirituality in a lot of ways. It holds a lot of the keys, the symbols, everything to my own personal kind of the language that I speak. So with God. So 2226, it's the idea of the light that breaks through, the light that's breaking through, like the dawn, right? The breakthrough of light. It's not like bam light, it's just that little bit of light. You know when you're in a really dark room and it's, maybe you've been in that dark room for a minute, and you just crack a door, it doesn't really matter how much light comes through, your eyes can see. It's like you can adjust. You can make out shapes. You can make your way to the door. You can make your way through the room. And that is the moment that you're in. The second number that I had was, it was actually the word for the Egyptian land Goshen. And Goshen was a place of, it was like a liminal space, which kind of symbolized the line from Joseph to Moses. Okay, don't worry about all that. The idea, what it represents, is it's like a holding place of preparation. Okay, and that's what you've been in. And the cool thing about getting those two numbers back to back was the message was so clear. You have been in this preparation time, and you've felt like having this roller coaster, choppy water thing in this time. It was kind of disorienting for you. You didn't know exactly what was going to come through, and you weren't supposed to, because what it was supposed to do was just shake you up so that you saw what was left, what was really left standing, okay? This divine time of sifting has led you through the new, the blue moon that we just had. It was the cosmic prophetic worship act. Full moon would represent closing out a cycle. The blue moon almost represents a second chance. Like, okay, are you really gonna close the cycle out? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay, so it was a test. Looking at your heart space, looking at where you were ready to close out some heartbreak, ready to close out some ways that you were seeing yourself, ready to close out a test of your faithfulness, your loyalty, your devotion. And another word for you, I got Proverbs 3 today, and one of the lines just really got me. It said, bind steadfast love and devotion around your neck. Never depart from them. People don't really understand the fires that you've walked through and the level of devotion that has been continuously tested in you. I'm going to say that again. People do not understand the level of testing that your devotion has had to go through. Okay, people can look at you, they can look at me, whatever, and go, oh, people we have like boxes that we like to put people in our minds. So people might think you've had it so easy, or people might think blah, blah, blah. People might think whatever they think about you, whatever they think about it. It doesn't mean they understand the story. They don't know what your peace, your confidence, your courage, they have no idea what it's cost you, okay? And I'm here to remind you that that devotion that you carry, that steadfast love and faithfulness, it is not just about like showing that to a partner. Yes, of course you want to show that to a partner, your loved ones, your inner circle, of course. But it's more than that. The mission that you have, the calling that you have, has required your devotion to the divine, to God, however you relate to it. I'm gonna say to Yahweh, the Creator, it's had to be tested. You see, it's had to be tested. The matter that got settled following the blue moon was about you having a blessing, that a judgment, like a gavel coming down and going, okay, it's done. And the gavel would have fallen on two sides. One side is, it's done, here's your new skin. Here's a grace on you. You're gonna feel different, okay? The other gavel that can, judgment, right, that can come down after a test can say, do another lap. This is about a karmic cycle. This is, you didn't really learn a lesson. You take another lap, because what you're going into is going to require you to be this other version. And so you're either ready or not. Reflecting on conversations or events or things you did or said, and you could be going to yourself, I can't believe I did that. Or I can't believe I let that person do that. Or I can't believe I said that. Do you know what I'm saying? You're still separating things, but you have an emotional clarity over your actions, over how you saw yourself and how you saw the situation. You might be saying, oh, I definitely need to do that. I definitely want to do that. Those are markers that you are in a whole new space and time, a whole new version of yourself. You might be remembering a happier version. So you might be finding yourself going, gosh, why don't I do that anymore? I need to get back to feeling like that. You're remembering who you are. You might be thinking it's time to get that happiness back, okay? It's not a time of where the intense kind of energetics are testing. It's It's the releases happen, so you'd be feeling like emotional clarity, okay? Emotional clarity over you realizing you need to be happy. Really, very simply. This is what shedding has revealed, all right? You didn't need to be anything but you. You were always in there, okay? And that's why, you guys, this channel is called Reminding Eve. Eve means life. I'm reminding you that you already are who you are. We get amnesia when we're born, and we just have to come into awareness of who the Creator doesn't make things bad, right? You were made perfectly and wonderfully, and you just have to remember that. So all this shedding and all this crap we pick up on the way, we have to just shed it, okay? To go just a little bit deeper, you might even be feeling a shift or an emotional clarity over childhood wounding issues. In other words, let's say you have titled yourself like fear of abandonment. And you wouldn't be wrong. Like, you came in, you did your work, you knew your stuff, right? So you have always had this lens, and you would be experiencing a level of fear of rejection, abandonment with all of these relationships, right? These cycles. But now you might be having almost like a new thought that's come. You're a new human, right? It's a new epoch of time for you. So it's like, let me use a personal example, because that's the only way I can explain it. I would have said for myself, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, whatever. My dad just visited recently, and I didn't kind of think this at the time, but recently in my own awakening, it's like, oh, other men might have left me or made me feel rejected, but my dad has never left me. My dad always came back. My dad always comes. My dad's always there. Like, there is healing to the amygdala, right? There's healing to the psyche in this new human, this new DNA. And my story has been rewritten in my mind. What is the avoidant attachment styles, all this kind of stuff? You just might be having some deeper insights that sound neurologically like maybe your brain is rewriting the story, okay, of what is true. Not just what's true about your past, but what's true about you. Because for me to meditate on, my dad's never left, my primary caretaker, but also my first relationship with a male in my life, and my strongest relationship, is steadfast and long lasting and generous and healed, you know? And it's not perfect. Like, we don't have to be perfect for it to be healed. Does that make sense? We just love and accept each other, and we keep going, and we've got a beautiful history. In fact, the fact that we have so much shit in our history makes us even stronger. It's like, oh, you came back. It's just like beautiful. So that is deep healing if you think about it. But let me say this, it was effortless. It wasn't like I did this big, deep healing in my last few weeks. No, the realization just came, and it locked in, and it felt like deliverance. It felt like God going, let's just make sure that one's locked in. Okay, good. Now walk forward. Why? To clear my heart space. Because why? And why for you? Because we want to be happy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so ready to open my heart space. My heart is awesome. Hey, did you guys see one of my last few videos? I was doing a love reading or something, and I was saying, and as I was doing it, it dawned on me too. What was the phrase I used? I said to somebody, without knowing it, you have saved the most intimate part of yours. It doesn't matter if you've been married. It doesn't matter how many partners it doesn't matter. If you've never had someone go into that intimate place and see you because you were free of all your issues, and you gave that's the most sacred gift you could ever give to anyone. So that's very hopeful. 11:11 on my clock. I had to restart my clock, but 11:11 destiny. Okay, so you're opening your heart space. You are preparing for new love. If you are in a relationship, you are going to have an entirely new experience with the person that you are involved with. And you're so blessed. Let me say that this is coming to mind. If you've been with a partner and you guys have gone through changes together, and you find each other and you both do your work and you find each other after those cycles, hold on to that person. That is the most precious kind of relationship that you can have, that you're growing and changing together. Beautiful. So you will both be experiencing the new each other in this new cycle, which is super cool. Okay. You would be seeing old friendships that have passed. You've had to let them go for whatever reasons, and you would be thinking it totally makes sense that didn't work out. It totally makes sense that person's values, I can see myself now so clearly to see that person, they didn't know it, they didn't mean to, they didn't do anything, like, I'm not talking malicious, but we just didn't align. Truth didn't align between us. Loyalty, if that's a high value for you, they didn't align. Here's what God was saying to me about it. People who do not see you cannot walk with you. Let me say that again. People who do not see you, they cannot see you, cannot walk with you, because you have a mission and a calling in this earth, and you need a cheering team. You need, on earth with people, you need to be cheerleaded, right? You are courageous and strong and tender too. Do you not deserve to have people who go, oh, flippin' heck, I don't even know who you are. You're amazing. I see you. I love you. Like, I'm here to cheer you on. And if you even ever say to me, like, I'm shit or what, I am going to dust you off, get you back up, and tell you to get back out there. That is the level of support that you need for the calling that you have been tested and proved to endure and complete here in this beautiful experience of life that you're having. Okay, now this is for my pioneers. I'm supposed to remind you of your story again. Does it make more sense now? Your life, if you go back over to your childhood, does it make more sense? This is what I wrote down. You have been being trained all of your life for the mission that you're called to. You had to be betrayed. Why? Because you needed, at the bare bones bottom, I'm getting chills, you needed to see that you couldn't, everybody else could betray you, but you could never betray yourself ever again. You had to be rejected. Why? So that you would learn to choose yourself. Every time. Choose yourself. You had to connect so deeply through that healing with your own value, because your value is where your intuition sits. Your value and the way you see yourself, it's where it's the seat of God within you, right? It's where the divine communicates and communes with you. You have to be able to trust yourself. Okay, and when you have people around you who are like gaslighting you and deflecting onto you and making you feel like shit, and you haven't actually done anything wrong except show up authentically and be like, hi, what's going on? That, you've not seen yourself. Here's the thing. Those people were chipping away at you. They wanted you to doubt yourself. They wanted you to betray yourself, to give some part of you, to go a little extra far. They actually really didn't care about you at all. And I don't mean they knew it, but they didn't. They cared about themselves. How do I say this? You were delivered from those people, those relationships, and even from yourself. You were choosing those kinds of relationships. You were delivered because in order to do what you are called to do, you have got to trust yourself. You've got to trust your intuition. You cannot be around people who make you doubt yourself, your goodness, your intentions, your everything. You can't have people chipping away at you. It goes back to you need support too. All right. Now, you don't need a lot of support. You really don't. You have learned your lessons. You have learned to trust it, but you still need support. And I'm actually hearing right now, I'm seeing that, what is it? The Three of Cups. I'm seeing that celebration that like God is about to restore everything. Like he is going to bring you into community, into those, he's not into new, I think, sweet relationships that they bud and they bloom from a place of like other people who align with your values, right? And you couldn't have those friendships before, and you couldn't have that love partner before because you yourself would have sabotaged it. You wouldn't even believe in yourself, right? So now you do. All right. So you needed to know when nobody else chose you that you choose yourself because God chose you. You were already chosen. You are chosen. And against all betrayal, against all rejection, you are still chosen. You can't unchoose you. God is not going to unchoose you. He has been, they have been testing you all your sweet life and protecting you and keeping you going when you thought you were maybe not going to make it. Remember in your scroll now, the story is starting to sound, it's starting to make more sense, right? You know, when you're reading a book, you have to get past that chapter that's like, what just happened, right? You have to start seeing things work out. Now, we're not to the final chapter. We're not to the like, ha, and there's a happy ending. It's not like that. But it's like just through the confusing bit where you're like, okay, some healings happen. Let's keep going. You have a calling as a pioneer. So let it go. Let it all go now. This message is finding you to confirm to you that you can let it go. Let them go. Let it go. Really. It's a whole new day, and the sun is in front of you, and you're walking into the sunset, sunrise. In fact, it's that moment where you can't tell if it's sunset or sunrise. It's like the eternal sun. You are walking into a whole new space where, and this is the most exciting part of the message for me, and I don't even know how I'm going to say this. The only thing I can think to do is to kind of share a personal reflection to make this make more sense. But I've been thinking in the past couple days about how I really feel the more I come into inner union and wholeness, the less I feel the need to explain. And for me, I mean, if you guys have been watching my channel even over the past year, it's like I'm a teacher in my heart of hearts, or I would have said like that's what I am. I think I am. But I want to teach. No, it's not that I want to teach less. It's that I want to balance it more with just being, if that embodying what you're teaching, right? But I've been noticing that I've been really out of balance with that because of a need, hidden needs for people to affirm you, to accept you, to understand you, right? To make sure that you're, oh, I want you to know my intentions, or all that stuff. You guys, I do not care anymore. And it's not because I don't care that people learn or that it's not that. It's that I understand now that the people who can hear will hear, right? The people who want to criticize or attack you, they're just going to do that anyways. So why waste your breath trying to explain yourself to them? Penny drop. Light switch on, right? The people who are going to hear you. They're going to hear you whether you say it perfectly or not, or whether blah, 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 blah. There's divine intervention at play, right? With our missions and what we're carrying. I'm seeing that picture of Yeshua. Oh, honk, horn honk. Confirmation. I'm seeing that picture of Yeshua standing on the side of a mount of a hill. And it's the part where they're all the miracle of the loaves and the fish and all these people have been fed, right? And I think it's right after that. And him and his disciples kind of walk away. He's got more followers than ever. All these people just in droves because they're loving the miracles and the demons, all the stuff, right? Followers, right? How does that translate to us these days? And in that moment, he pulls a gem out that is a riddle, and it makes no sense to anyone at the time. It will only make sense in hindsight. Okay, so he says, unless you eat of my blood and drink of my flesh, you have no part of me. He's talking about he's talking about communion. He's talking about his own death and resurrection, and he's talking about a massive spiritual paradigm for death and resurrection, right, of the new human. And he loses everybody. Like even his own disciple goes, who's been journeying with him all the time. He's like, Rabbi, this is a hard teaching. Who can accept? And he doesn't care. My point is, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's like, this is the truth. You'll find it in time. My point is, if you are walking in your truth and then you will let the chips fall where they fall. That's the idea, automies. It's like, if you're not trying to get somebody's affirmation, they're either going to stay because they believe in you and they hear, or they're going to go, but they would have gone anyways, right? It would just be a matter of time. Okay, so it was like a huge separation going on, and I don't know why that came to mind, but it did. So I'll leave it with you for more reflection. But I've been finding that I want to explain less. And I'm saying this even to, I came out of the religious sector. And so a lot of religious training, a lot of kind of deep theological training to where, you know, if I need to give a sermon, if I needed to do an exegesis, I could do it, and I could bring people on the journey, and I could explain, and I could do the Hebrew, and I could do and all that stuff. And there is a place for that. I'm not saying there isn't. But what I have been knowing is that as Yeshua, as the Creator, brings me into a new place as a pioneer, I remember being in an entire huge group of prophets. And this was in the Christian, Celtic Christian sphere. And I remember somebody standing there and going, in the next day, God is going to send people who are offending the church and offending the blah, 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 and offending. And this was like a very, very respected person. And I was like, woo, you know, and I'm telling you, they all thought that meant, I'm sure of it, that meant that, you know, these kind of prophetic truths, spiritual warfare, somebody's going to come with some pink hair and like somebody's going to come and cast a demon out. I don't know. But let me tell you what did not get translated is that when God says he's going to come and offend the church, he does not then go, and you can tell me what offense is for you. I'm just going to take orders. So is that too far for me to go? Or is that offensive? Or let's make sure it's comfortable offense for you. No. What would offend the church more than a person who doesn't go to church or doesn't believe in Yeshua prophesying? What would offend the church more than the New Age movement, right? Having language that is better and further along than the church, that the church has no language for because they've been in a loop, in a religious cycle, right? Why am I saying all of this? Because when you're a pioneer, you are not called to comfortable spaces. If you're coming from a specific box and structure, this is finding you to tell you that God has broken you out of that box. Not so you go back into it, but because you need to see new land. Okay? You need to see new land. The Hebrew word for the land I'm talking about for you is Benayim. And it's the middle ground. It's no man's land. It's like we're here, my universal truth. We're here to terraform the earth into heaven, right? Make the new heaven and the new earth. All right. In doing that, there are gray areas. There's no man's land. There's lots of places where people are like, oh no, don't go there. They're too afraid of that and don't do that. And I've got all the rules for that and you need to follow the rules for that. No, rubbish. Wherever you are led, go. Go, because the Benayim is the middle ground. It's the place between David and Goliath. It's the place where God goes, hello, who's going to take it? Are you going to take the land? Even if nobody's done it before, even if nobody can tell you if you're going to be okay, even if you doubt your own kind of salvation every day, even if nobody is there to encourage you but yourself, right? Even if people criticize you, even if you don't know for sure where it's going to lead, even if you don't have enough, are you going to try to take this land? That is the word. And I can feel it coming through so strong right now. Are you going to take it? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are going to take it. Because you now know, I've told you all of the things that you've been through. You would have been, I'm getting chills again. You would have been reminded of all the things you've come through, and that will strengthen you for this next part. And I want to tell you, I wrote down you are a builder, and you've been freed from structures because you're supposed to build your own structure. Build a new structure, okay? That's your mission. And it's going to look different for everybody. All right, but you've already birthed. So now it's time to build. And I want to leave you with something really encouraging. Positive vibes encouraging. Positive vibus positivus. Okay. God is saying it's not going to be as hard as you think. There's going to be a grace, and there's going to be like angelic spiritual family coming and building with you, and you're going to get some things done in record time. But here's the thing. It's not just going to happen. It's going to happen because you stop and you intend for it to happen. You're going to partner and you're going to manifest with God. How are you going to do that? You are going to intentionally, if it's things to do with your business, your company, your plans, your relationships, whatever, you are always, always, always going to start with a prayer before you make a decision. And you're going to invite the Creator in, invite God, however you pray that, Yeshua, however you pray it. You're going to invite in and say, give me the strategy of heaven. I need the strategy of heaven. I need to ascend and descend. Right? Up the ladder, down the ladder. You go, and I'm not trying to make this hyper spiritual, because you may not see anything, you may not feel anything, but you're going to say the prayer anyways, because what you're doing is you are doing what Proverbs says, Lady Wisdom. She says, acknowledge God in all of your ways, not the ways of the people around you who aren't spiritually connected and they don't want to acknowledge God in everything. No, forget them. I'm talking about you. You are called to devotion to your Creator. You have to be totally devoted and faithful and steadfast in your own sense of spiritual faith with your Creator, because there's a love and a communion and an intimacy there that is part of the pattern that's going to be installed into what you're building. You're not just installing a new structure, you're installing heaven on earth, and that has to come with the magic of heaven, right? Does that make sense? That'll make sense to who needs to hear it. You don't have to strive for it, but you have to sit and ask and then go and do. Ask, bring God into it, Spirit into it, go and do. Go and do. And don't get stuck if you don't hear anything. Make a decision and go and do, right? God knows how to intervene and how to shift us and all that stuff, okay? God says go. Remember, Yeshua said go for the love, right? Okay, but it's time to go now, and it's time to build, and it's going to be easier than it's ever been before because the time is now. The time is now. So I'm going to say a blessing. I pray a blessing over us. I pray for the light inside of you to shine through, for you to find the things that make you happy again. Dance, sing, fall in love. Don't ruin your building. Don't ruin your mission. Don't get distracted. But I just mean keep your heart space open now. Heart space open. Happy us, right? Happy light, patterning heaven on earth. In our relationships, in our work, in our homes, right? Temple, temple, temple. Temple, body, temple, home, temple, earth, heaven and earth. Those three temples. I call them temple 1, 2, and 3, but never mind. Anyways, go and love your temple and bring it to life. And I love you guys. And I hope this message resonated. And if it did, remember to like, comment. All those kind of things help me. And they know that these messages are resonating with people. So thank you for your messages. And I love you. Bye.